now know the 24 teams that will make up the 2023-2024 Championship campaign. Who's going to go up? Who's going to go down? I'm going to get my early door insane predictions coming at you next. That's right, folks. Bumps Game on a prediction video. Today we're taking a look, an insanely early look at the next year's Championship campaign. Who's going to go up to the Premier League? Who's going to go down to League One? Insane early door picks coming at you in a second, of course. Big shout out to my VIPs. They are the patrons, of course. If you're new, where you been? Subscribe, thumbs up, hit the little bell. Your non-stop shop for Rovers, Championship, World Football, right here under one roof. We do these every year, trying to do a little bit of variety in how we do them. Today I'm in a garage. I'm in my bloody garage, but I've got the teams coming at you very, very soon in all their glory in HD. Of course, we're starting in the middle of the pack, work our way down to the drop zone, and then the top 12 to the top of the spot. Who is going to be? We're going to take a look right now. So we start, of course, into 13th spot, and then we got Preston North End, that's right. Finishing last time out around about, well, they good campaign for them in the end. 12th. Well, they were close to the playoff talk for a little bit of the season towards the back end. But of course, ultimately finishing in mid-table. I don't see them making too much of a transition in regards to going up towards the playoffs next campaign, because this campaign is going to be tough. We already know that we now know the 24 teams that make up this campaign, and Preston, like others, are going to be scrapping for their lives and also scrapping for mid-table mediocrity. That's where I think, of course, Ryan and those boys will be. First team out the hat, that's of course Preston North End. Neck of the woods will be, that's right, Sunderland, of course, making the playoffs this campaign, but question marks surround the future of their manager. Tony Mowbray did a fantastic job. You keep him, and of course we can forget about this, they'll be more closer towards the top. If you bring in some weird, bizarro coach who's not experienced championship football, then I think I'm going to be closer to the money. I've got a gut feeling that Mowbray's going to be out on his ear looking for a new job, but and that's going to cost the Mackhams this campaign. So for me, 14th. Got Birmingham City, of course, not great season for them last campaign where they finished. They finished up around about, 17th, of course. But good coach, young coach, hungry coach. And again, they did have some talented young individuals. I'm not sure about their status, if they were there on permanent basis. But likes of Melsby, of course, Tahiti Chong, and of course Scotty Hogan, who does score goals at this level. They've got a recognised goal scorer. The fact, hoping that he does stick around at the St Andrews. I don't know the situation contract-wise for Birmingham, but for me, I think they'll be okay. But again, I think they want better than this. But for me, 15th for Birmingham City this campaign. It's a 16th spot again. Hopes that Stoke could gate crash the Championship players last campaign, and if they start off brightly like they did towards the back of the campaign, then maybe you could probably egg in my face for this one, because I'm going a little bit bizarre towards the back end of the Championship for Stoke. 16th spot. I think Alex Neil's a fantastic coach. A bit opinionated, a bit hot-headed perhaps, and that could be the problems for Stoke City moving forward. Again, don't know, keeping a hold of him. Is he set? Is he dead set on this? And of course making sure good business in the transfer market this campaign. But for me, I do see Stoke City struggling. Oh yes, what have we got down there? We've got down there in 16th spot. Into 17th spot, and it's Cardiff City. That's right, they've already made the big decision to get rid of Sammy Lamucci, who did pretty well for himself under the circumstances over in Wales. Of course, who's going to come in? That's the dying question. There are a lot of good managers out there. Of course, Nathan Jones of a Welsh descent. Linked with Swansea, linked that as well with Cardiff. And by this recording, when this does come out, he may have already been hired. I don't even know, but whoever comes in has got their work to do. If it is Jones, then maybe we'll need to reevaluate this. But for me, I see another season of struggle for Cardiff. Oh yes, 17th spot. 18th spot, and it is Nigel Pearson's Bristol City. That's right. They've got some a really young, hot prospect. Of course, keeping a hold of him will be massive. Scott's his name. And football's his game, of course. Linked with bringing back Joe Bryan already, the transfer rumours. But have they got what it takes to push forward? Some will probably put these guys as an outside pick, but I think in order to do so, they might need to reevaluate their coaching situation. I think Nigel Pearson's a bit of Marmite. You either love him or you hate him, but for me, I don't think he's the guy to put the Robins forward. So for me, another season of struggle for Bristol City. that's right, Ipswich Town, they're back. Of course, the East Anglian Derby will be back on the calendars next campaign. And of course, Kieran McKenna did a fantastic job in a very, very competitive League One last season. Of course, scoring goals, free scoring these guys were. But really, a lot of people, including the bookies, have these guys within the top 8 of promotion candidates. For me, I think it's going to be a season of transition. They'll do all right. They'll do okay. I think I've got them ranked at the best of the teams coming up in next season's campaign. But for me, what have I got them down as? I've got them as 19th. They'll survive. 20th spot, I've got Sheffield Wednesday. Wow, what a journey. What a back into the campaign they have. Of course, unfortunately, missing out on the top 2 spots, but of course, coming through the playoffs in the most exciting manner possible. That thriller against Peterborough, well done, of course, and of course, beating Barnsley in the playoff final. Of course, I am a big admirer of Darren Moore, and I've once touted him as a potential Rovers replacement for Tony Mowbray way back when. So I'm happy for him to be back, and I'm happy for the Owls to be back. Of course, they should be at this level, if not better than that. And again, I just feel this next season, there's a big club here, and of course they had a humongous weight on their shoulders in League One, and I think they'll start to play their real style of football. I think it's going to be another season of transition for some of these promoted sides, but Sheffield Wednesday will stick around. They'll be here, but they need to kind of bring more quality to the team. And right now, early days, I don't know if that's going to be happening. So for me, I've got Sheffield Wednesday. 21st spot, and it is GA's boys. Gareth Ainsworth, goodness gracious me, terrible end to the campaign, and I fear he might have a bit of a wobbly start for QPR this campaign. And I think if they have a bad start, he'll probably be replaced, and then who knows who comes in to try and save QPR from relegation. They'll do just about that, whether it is with Gareth Ainsworth or with someone else in charge, but I do think it's going to be another season. Well, they have got some assets, some valuable assets at Loftus Road. Of course, Dickey at the back. You've got Elias Chair as well, plus some other ones in attacking departments. Keeping hold of them will be massive, but Gareth Ainsworth has got his work to do. 21st for QPR. What we got, and my first team going down, they did do absolute wonders last season. I've got Huddersfield, goodness gracious me, that's right. Warnock, I believe, is no more. Correct me if I'm wrong. I've read somewhere that he's moved on to Pastures News, so they're looking for a new coach. And that is always a gamble. Unless you go for a tried and trusted, a Chris Wilder or something like that, Nathan Jones maybe, then you, of course, again, I'm recording this ahead of any managerial appointment for Huddersfield Town. But I still think they're going to struggle, and the concerns and the problems from last year, or this current year, whatever, will still be there. So Huddersfield Town, they're going down. We got Plymouth Argyle, goodness gracious me, Green Army, that's right. Back to the second tier of English football for the first time in a long time. Losing now in this early doors. I'm sorry, of course. I'm happy as a Rovers fan to acknowledge his arrival, but of course you guys have been in the pitch. There are rumours though, Macaulay Langstaff from Notts County could be coming to Plymouth, which of course will be a great replacement for any goals missed from now on. But for me, I fear Plymouth. Of course, I think their home form is going to be massive. Long travels for a lot of clubs. They might just stick around. I have it close. Of course, if QPR have a stinker, then of course Plymouth I'll go with the biggest winners. But for me, I've got them going down. 23rd, Green Army. And of course, going down to the 24th spot it is. Rotherham, goodness gracious me, 24th for me. Great season last season, a very difficult season, losing Paul Warne early days, bringing in the fella from Exeter, of course. Did great to keep them in there, and there was some real good teamwork performance. We felt a battering. Rovers got a bit of a battering from Rotherham, and they can cause problems. I don't think relegation is going to be as wide open or as easy to predict as last season. I think Rotherham will go down, but they go down fighting, and 3 teams have to go down, and I've got to make my prediction. Unfortunately, it's going to be Rotherham, 24th spot, but I think they're going to be in good shape for continuing their recent yo-yo effect, bouncing from League One and the Championship. For me, 24th spot, Rotherham going down. Here we bloody go into the top 12, and we'll start with the Tigers. That's right, Hull City, goodness gracious me. Last season starting with The Georgian fella, shot out of Ladsy, I think, in charge. They got that wrong, completely wrong. I smelt a fish. I smelt a dead fish when I saw that one. But they've got matey boy, what's his name? Coming at you. Oh, forget me. Liam Rossigna. Great young coach. A lot of there was talk actually of Hull maybe replacing them. Keeping Liam Rossigna in charge will be the success to the season. Getting rid of him, replacing him with some other foreign coach who doesn't know this division is going to be your downfall. I think if you replace him before the start of the season, I think you're going to be towards the bottom. Keep Rossigna in charge, top half campaign, and maybe even an outside push for the playoffs. I've got you down as 12th with Rossigna in charge. Well, of course, it's the playoff losers. Goodness gracious me. Coventry City. Wow. Fantastic for them last season to get to the final. Of course, the way that they did it, you know, Ben Wilson handball and all that kind of stuff. But I think they've already secured Mark Robbins. He'll be there next season as manager. That's great. But you're going to lose goals in Gayorkes. He's going to go. He's Premier League bound. Of course, Gustavo Hamer's also probably Premier League bound. There's going to be teams, probably even ones that just got promoted, will be sniffing at your door for your talent. That's the problem, and I think you're going to go backwards to hopefully go forwards. I'm not promising anything, but I think Gayorkes, Hamer are going to go. Replacing that will be massive for your future in the Championship and maybe even a playoff run. But for me, I've got you 11th. We'll see how you do next season. Millwall, that's right, fell out of the playoffs on the last day. I'm sorry, of course, the real Rovers showed up, and of course we won on the final day. Gary Rowett's boys finishing, what are they, 8th or something like that last campaign. Of course, can they go a couple spots better into the playoffs? They are the nearly men. Each and every, well, the past few seasons they've been the nearly men. I just feel another nearly campaign for Millwall. And again, it's no disrespect to Millwall. They've got some really good players. Of course, Zion Fleming was tremendous in his first season in the Championship. Of course, losing Jed Wallace, he came in and he took over the mantle there and did a fantastic job contributing with goals and creating probably a humongous affiliation with the Dutchies, of course, with a new Dutchy Millwall campaign, a Millwall fan base. But for me, I just think this season is going to be tough. And I think they need to bring more quality in and keep a hold of Fleming to see if they are going to make a push for those playoffs once again. But unfortunately, what I got them down as? I got them down as 10th. Into ninth spot, and we got the Baggies. That's right. Fantastic coach, Carlos Corbejan. I think he's a good coach. But having spoken with West Brom fans and listened to some fan opinion, there's some trouble behind the scenes at West Brom. They are perennial free transfer guys who raid the free transfer market, but I think sometimes that doesn't work out in your favour. They brought in the likes of Alex Mauer over the days, Jed Swift, Jed Wallace, John Swift. Some real creative players, Adam Reach, over the past 2 or 3 seasons, and again, not really delivered. Can they get over the line this time around? I just don't think so. I fear that there's some problems behind the scenes that's going to cause some disruption for the Baggies this season. A top half finish, yes indeed. Maybe even a playoff push, perhaps. But for me, I've got them down in 9th spot, the Baggies. Into 8th spot, wow, and it's probably Russell Martin's boys. It's Southampton. Wow. Now, I was having an argument about who gets into 8th spot. Southampton were there. Of course, big transition for them, and I see them being the worst positioned team coming from the Premier League. They're going to be down there. They're going to miss out. But I think it's a time to reset. You're going to lose James Ward-Prowse. You're going to lose probably some other talent in that team as well. Chance for you to kind of reevaluate, do a Burnley perhaps, but maybe it might take a season. Of course, Russell Martin is not everyone's cup of tea, but a Marmite is Russell Martin, especially within the team. He can be, at least in the public eye, it can be very frustrating. So getting to grips with his ethos and his playing style is going to be massive for the Saints, but I think they'll have a good season, but of course it might be considered a bit of a failure. Meanwhile, into 7th spot, it's Swansea. That's right. I have no idea who they're going to replace him with. I think Schumacher from Plymouth has been linked, and again, that's going to probably affect Plymouth's longevity in this division. But I don't know. I also saw the American coach, former US national coach, And they've been there before with Bob Bradley and all that kind of stuff. So getting the appointment right. There are some good guys out there. Nathan Jones as well, Welsh connections, Chris Wilder as well, who kind of flopped at Watford. But there are some good opportunities out there, and I think building off of what Russell Martin was trying to achieve is what could be the benefit for Swansea. Or, on the flip side, they could have an absolute rotter of a season, but this one's a bit of a wild card. I'm going to go Swansea 7. But into 6th spot, of course, it is my boys. It is Blackburn Bloody Rovers. That's right. We're going to get there over in the end. We're going to get to the playoffs without Big Bad Ball Burton Diaz. Diaz making the move to La Liga. And of course, as of recording, we seem to keep fended off any interest from Europe. That may still change. Of course, we are recording this in May, back end of May. So there is still a whole month of June and a whole month of July before the season really kicks off in August. So keeping a hold of JDT is massive. We saw humongous strides with us, yes. Frustrating at times, Blackburn Rovers. We've already dipped our toe into the transfer market, which is great for Ewood Park faithful. We don't usually do that. We leave our business to the last second, but now we seem to have got our heads switched on. So 6th for me, for Blackburn Rovers. Into 5th spot we go, and it is maybe a bit of a new sort of era at Carrow Road, Norwich City. I'm going to go with 5th. Wagner currently in charge. I think it's make or break for Wagner. He's got to kick off very well in the early months if Norwich are struggling. I could see them replacing Wagner with somebody else, a good coach, maybe even Dean Smith perhaps. And of course get Norwich back into a playoff consideration. Even if they are to fall off the face of the earth within the first 2 months, I think they could do a Middlesbrough, I think they could do a Coventry, and at least rise into the playoffs as well. Losing Pookie is massive, a lot of goals lost there, but I think they've got some really creative, attacking and exciting players at Carrow Road. So for me, 5th spot is Norwich. Into 4th spot, playoff bound Middlesbrough. Of course, they failed last time around. Of course, Carrick did wonders, getting them into the position. Of course, even flirted with the top 2. They won't go there this time either. They won't make top 2 because it's just too difficult, I feel. But they're going to be one of the best of the rest. It's a 4th spot. Keeping Carrick, massive. Keeping Akpom, massive. I think they've got a good chance. There are rumours linking Chopper Akpom with a move to the Premier League, but I just think they'll keep a hold of him. And of course, the goals will still be there. Otherwise, if he does go, then that might be a problem. But still, I think Middlesbrough's board, back the manager, back the club, and they should be contenders once again. Leicester City, of course, one of the 3 teams relegated from the Premier League, and I have them finishing in 3rd. Why? Because they are going to come here with some clout. They're going to have Premier League players still on the books. There might be a bit of frustration. They're going to fall a little short from automatics, and I'm not guaranteeing they'll be promoted at the end of this campaign. But my early gut feeling is they'll be contenders, serious contenders, and they may even flirt with the top 2. Who's going to be in charge of them? That's another question. Who's going to stay? That's another question. But for me, 3rd spot, Leicester City. Into 2nd spot we go now, and it's Valerie and Ishmael's boys. Or is it? Who's going to be in charge to steer Watford back to the Premier League? Got them in 2nd spot, of course. Exciting times, linked with some players already. Who does see? Lucas Jow could be coming in to Watford. Who knows? But I think Valerie and Ishmael back in the Championship, back. His 3rd attempt, of course, with Barnsley, did very well, got them into the playoffs. With West Brom, didn't really work out. But of course, Watford, I think he's got to get that dressing room on side. I think there's a lot of prima donnas in Watford. They're going to lose Lucas Shaw. They're going to probably take a bit of time to adjust to his style of play. But if they get it right, they're going to be deadly and they're going to be contenders for the title. But for me, I see them in 2nd. We'll have to wait and see. And it is Leeds United, that's right. I've got Leeds going the distance, going straight back up again, with or without Sam Allardyce. Of course, I think my gut feeling is that Sam Allardyce will not be there. They're going to look for a young, hungry coach. Of course, linked with JDT from Blackburn Rovers and others. But there are some good, exciting young managers out there. And they've got a lot of the tools here ready to be back in the Premier League. Of course, they were unfortunate to be in this situation. But of course, they've got to get back quick time if they're going to please the faithful. These guys have been through a lot, have Leeds, but I think they're going to have a bit of a Burnley effect, maybe rip it up a little bit next season in the Championship. But who's going to be in charge? That's the key factor for me. With Allardyce, I don't know. But of course, get the right young, hungry coach, and we could see some records being broken. But that, my friends, is number one spot. Well, there you have it, folks. There you bloody have it. That's my, of course, prediction, my early door predictions for this coming Championship campaign, the 2023-2024 Championship campaign. Do you agree? Do you disagree? What are your hopes and dreams for your own club? Do you think you're going to be tip of the top, or do you think you'll be destined for the drop? That's, of course, all to come next season. Of course, right here, your non-stop shop for Rovers. Of course, Championship, World Football right here. We're going to have predictions back. Very, very busy, and hopefully you can be here with me along for the ride. But until then, guys, subscribe, thumbs up, hit the little bell, and of course, I'll see you soon for the next one.